Tonight, there's a call for bail bonding reform. That's after shocking numbers show that most people facing misdemeanor charges never bond out.
New at 6, News Channel 5's Kimberly Davis explains how some are now pushing for change.
Innocent until proven guilty. That's the law of the land, but some say many people who are facing misdemeanor charges don't receive the same treatment when it comes to bonding out of jail. In fact, many of those people facing those misdemeanor charges are still behind bars because they simply just don't have enough cash to bond out.
What we have set up is two justice systems, one for poor people and one for wealthy people. And that's not fair.
An outcry for bail reform. Numbers released from the mayor's office show that most people charged with misdemeanors never bond out before their case is resolved. Public Defender Dawn Diener.
The primary problem with a money bail system is that it simply keeps people in custody solely because they're poor or living in poverty and they don't have the financial means to get out of custody.
Nearly 21,000 people were charged with misdemeanors in Nashville last year, but only 8,500 of those charged were able to post bond, leaving more than 12,000 people behind bars.
The primary reason those individuals are staying in jail is they just don't have enough money to post their bail.
Allowing people to pay for their release seems to be unfair to people who don't have much cash, but the district attorney disagrees.
Some of those statistics can be misleading.
General Glenn Funk says many of the defendants in jail don't bond out because they were never in jail for very long, and those that did were facing more serious misdemeanors like domestic assault.
Everybody that's just charged with a misdemeanor comes to court the very next day. And most folks that have their case in front of a judge, either the bond gets reduced, the case gets resolved, sometimes the case gets dismissed.
Bail reform has been met with heavy opposition, but something Diener says is needed.
If we see unfairness, it's our responsibility to do something to fix it.
Kimberly Davis, News Channel 5.
If Nashville did go through a bail reform, it would save taxpayers money if defendants were able to bond out faster.
Remember the Laverne woman who stole more than $1 million from a federal child food program? Well, now federal prosecutors say she had help from her family and friends. And now the U.S. attorney wants to send them to prison, too. Our consumer investigator Jennifer Kraus tells us about the latest arrests.
Rory, 7 more people arrested, most of them related to LaShawn Hayes. And federal prosecutors say they all knew what Hayes was doing and actually helped her do it. As the director of a federally funded food program, LaShawn Hayes was supposed to be giving money to child care programs to feed low-income children. But what she did was steal more than $1.5 million by claiming she was providing money to child care facilities and children that didn't exist.
What do you have to say about what you did?
News Channel 5 Investigates first exposed her scheme last year, how she turned in fake reimbursement claims to DHS, claiming, for example, this grassy embankment on Dickerson Pike was a home-based daycare, and listing family members and friends as caregivers, which federal prosecutors now allege wasn't true either. The U.S. attorney has now charged Hayes' son, Adrian Jennings of Madison, and her aunt, Alice Dunlap of Murfreesboro, with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Also charged, Hayes' brother, Brian Jennings, and sister-in-law, Clarissa Jennings, both of Springfield. Hayes' niece, Nicole Golden of Hendersonville, another relative, Patsy Mathis of Knoxville, and friend Juanita Mitchell of Murfreesboro. Prosecutors say Hayes got the reimbursement money and spent much of it on herself, but that she did share some of it with those who helped her. The indictments say these folks received anywhere from $11,000 to $41,000 each. This brings the total number of arrests in this case to 9, in addition to these 7 plus Hayes. Back in May, Hayes' cousin, Tammy Young, was also charged and admitted that she, too, had been part of the scheme. Now, the 7 who've just been arrested all now face up to 20 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. Hayes herself was only sentenced to 3 months behind bars after she claimed she was in poor health, and she's already out of prison. She was ordered to pay back what she stole, but federal officials concede it's unlikely that most of that money will ever be recovered. Rory.
Jennifer, thank you. Tennessee's Republican Party tried to warn Twitter about an account that may be linked to Russian efforts to influence the presidential election of 2016. This follows a story first revealed Tuesday by News Channel 5 Investigates. A spokesperson provided us with 3 complaints sent to Twitter complaining that the TEN GOP account was impersonating the state party's own account. Twitter finally shut down the rogue account last August after it gained a following of more than 100,000. A new report from an independent Russian news organization says that Twitter account was generated by a Russian troll factory as part of its effort to influence U.S. elections. You want to check out our full investigation? Go to newschannel5.com and click on News Channel 5 Investigates.
A fire at an apartment complex in Nippers Corner sent 2 people to the hospital and seriously burned 1 dog. News Channel 5's Kyle Horan is live at Brentwood Downs. And Kyle, that fire gutted the inside of one of the buildings there.
Yeah, it absolutely did, and I'm going to show you it right now. You can see where the fire started, where those boards are down there. That's where the fire started. That's what firefighters say. And then it moved up from there, moving to that top floor, and then damaged some of the other units over here at the left. Now, what I've been told from people that I just talked to a moment ago is that a lot of these people are going to have to move, and they're not sure if they'll ever have to come back, even though some of these units were undamaged. But on the top floor, there was actually a dog in there that had to escape, and he got out on its own.
Looks like it's going to be a loss.
For firefighters here, in each and every smoke-filled apartment,
Smoke was billowing out of the building.
there's the potential for waiting victims.
Huge flames, flaming out of the top of the building.
Building number 6 at Brentwood Downs had many of them.
Saw the building on fire in the back.
2 people were rescued, taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation issues.
Look, your ferrets are safe.
But the pets, those were numerous. Opal Persia was there.
So far, he seems like a sweet little dog.
When the fire started at 10 in the morning, few knew the scene would look like this. First responders even called backup.
And they were struggling a little bit, so they asked anyone that had any extra leashes to go home and grab them for them. And that's how he ended up with this leash.
And as people came together, they provided for the many animals that were taken from near certain death. This one's name is Carolina. People say she escaped the apartment on her own. But with burns on her body, neighbors came together to put her in a cage and take her to her owner.
We dropped everything and took care of what needed to be taken care of, and we're human and just kept our emotions and did the right thing, and I think the world needs a lot more of that.
He came back from work to rush the dog to the animal hospital.
She got out by herself somehow, so I was like, fortunately, she's a tough little thing.
Now, I did talk to the owners of Carolina. They actually live on the top floor on the front side of the building, and so they lost everything. Carolina is in immense pain right now. The veterinarian told them that they're probably going to have to keep her for 3 or 4 days, and that surgery could be an option, but the wounds are superficial, so they think the dog is going to be okay. Reporting live from Nippers Corner, Kyle Horan, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Kyle. A TSU student says she's been sick for several weeks. She's come to find out the cause may be because of her own roommate. As News Channel 5's Matthew Torres explains, there was something fishy in her water.
A water bottle is probably the last thing you worry about, but for one TSU student, she's accused of using this item to commit a crime nothing short of cruel. It's more gross than it is violent.
What? That is nasty.
Like, I've never heard anything like this, so it's like kind of crazy.
It's yucky and the plain and simple.
Taking water from the toilet to fill up water bottles. It landed a TSU student behind bars and her dorm roommate sick.
Well, she had a bad roommate. Sounds like to me.
Police say 20-year-old Tierney Williams even recorded her crime on Snapchat. Williams could be heard in the video saying, quote, "The bitch is gonna get sick from this, and this is some nasty shit," as she poured the toilet water into her roommate's bottles.
It's messed up. I just couldn't believe somebody would do something like that.
The victim says she's seen her health get worse over several weeks from weight loss, lack of appetite, and diarrhea.
Well, the toilet water would possibly cause the sort of infection that might cause a diarrheal illness.
Infectious disease doctor William Schaffner says symptoms depend on how much was consumed. It's more gross than it is seriously harmful.
Obviously, toilet water is not sterile, and you could have the residual from fecal material that's still left, although we can't see it. And there could be either bacteria or viruses that could get into our system.
No word on how the victim is doing. Williams bonded out last night and is expected to appear in court next month. Reporting in Nashville, I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
TSU officials say Williams is subject to the university's disciplinary process, ranging from a suspension to expulsion. The motive still unknown.
He was the man in charge at the Nashville International Airport. Tonight, the Airport Authority president and CEO Rob Wigington has been fired. The Board of Commission voted to fire him at a meeting today. The group claims Wigington had a lack of financial control and repeatedly refused to communicate and follow board policy. Wigington has been on medical leave since June because he underwent a liver transplant. He says the airport has been extremely successful under his tenure, bringing 10 new airlines and 20 new nonstop destinations. The termination was effective immediately. Happening now, the search is on for 3 suspects accused of a smash and grab in Smyrna. Around 3 this morning, the trio broke out a window at the Guns & More store on East Sam Ridley Street and took several handguns. If you have any information about this case, contact Smyrna Police.
He was killed in a Blue Angels crash right here in Middle Tennessee.
Still to come on News Channel 5 at 6, how a memorial park for Captain Jeff Coos is one step closer to reality.
Plus, a push to make one mid-state city a little more pedestrian-friendly.
And as the temperatures cool off this fall, how to make sure your heating bills don't go up.
And with chilly nights like we've had, most folks have had to turn on the heat. Dense river fog a good bet tomorrow, and Storm 5 Titan out tonight. The latest on both next on News Channel 5 at 6.
Join the conversation. Connect with News Channel 5 on Facebook. This is News Channel 5 at 6 with Vicki Yates, Roy Johnston, Storm 5 meteorologist Bree Smith, and sports with Steve Lehman.
It is a memorial honoring fallen Blue Angel pilot Jeff Coos. And this fighter jet that you see right here is part of the tribute. You may remember this. It was delivered to the Mid-State back in May. Well, today a groundbreaking ceremony was held at Lee Victory Recreation Park in Smyrna. Captain Coos was killed during training for an air show in June of 2016. The mayor says it has been difficult for the community.
When the crash first happened, we were in shock. We were in disbelief, and the community wanted to see something done to honor Captain Jeff Coos, and today is building that foundation. And so over the next couple of months, I think it's going to continue to help our community heal from this tragedy.
Organizers hope to raise $1 million for the park, which will feature that Blue Angel plane. So far, they've been able to gather about $800,000.
It's that time of year when people start turning on their heat as the temperatures drop. But are you getting what you pay for when you get your heating bill? News Channel 5's Jessica Knudsen found that Tennessee is one of the worst ranked states when it comes to energy efficiency inside of our homes, but there are ways to fix it.
Replacing old insulation with new modern insulation can help with energy efficiency, as well as doing things like tightening up the system by working on the ductwork.
When E3 Innovate pulls up to a house, they're on a mission. Replace the old with the new, fill in the gaps where necessary, and make your home a better place to live.
In general, home comfort and performance issues are the majority of our calls.
And while they fix those issues with a myriad of techniques,
we can use spray foam insulation, there's cellulose insulation, which is recycled paper, there's traditional fiberglass insulation.
They also focus on improving the energy efficiency of a home. That means that when you put on the AC or the heat, that cold or warm air will go to the right places. It will keep your home at a more pleasant temperature for a longer time, meaning lower energy bills and less energy used.
I mean, we have a lot of nice homes in Nashville, but we haven't been focused on this issue.
Tennessee ranks 47 out of 48 when it comes to home energy efficiency in the continental United States. There could be numerous reasons behind the low ranking, but one of the key factors is that electricity is relatively inexpensive, so even though energy is wasted, it doesn't impact the homeowner's wallet.
In the wintertime, you're heating air, you're spending money to heat this air. You're then pumping it through ductwork, and if 50% of it is lost before it actually makes it into your house, you're heating the attic, you're heating the outdoors, and then it doesn't make any sense.
But by updating your home with new insulation and improving the air quality, you indirectly make your home more efficient, saving money and energy. In Nashville, Jessica Knudsen, News Channel 5.
To help combat the problem, local electricity companies like NES actually provide incentives for people who improve the efficiency of their home. We've posted details on that program on our website, newschannel5.com.
Good time of year to be talking about this stuff.
It's getting colder.
Say, it sort of felt like it wasn't going to happen, like fall wasn't really going to get here. And now it's like, oh, well, yeah, it's a little,
it's here.
Yeah, it's a little crisp outside. Where did I put my jackets from last year? So tonight will be another very cold night. We're already headed there. The sun is starting to set. Gorgeous sunset tonight. Not quite as electric as last night, but East Nashville looking sun-kissed on our sky cam tonight. That's actually where we have Storm 5 Titan. We'll join them in just a bit, but you can see the color streaking across the sky. And now that that sun angle is low enough, the temperatures will start to drop rapidly. We hit 74 today. We will drop nearly 30 degrees in some spots. So it's another big plunge during the overnight hours. 65 here. Nice shot of the Cumberland River as well. River fog. That is a part of our story for the next few days. It was downright thick in some spots this morning. Very dense river fog developed because the water temperatures are much warmer to the air temperatures if you compare them in the morning hours. So that's why we've got the stage set for steam fog over the next few days. Nothing else, though, weather-wise. A few passing puffy clouds, that's it, at least for the next 3 days. So our weather pattern is changing. It's just changing really slowly. We've got high pressure in charge. That's great. This is like Mother Nature's high five. That gives us sunshine, gives us easy weather. And as this high meanders off to the east over the next few days, our southerly wind will begin to pick up just a touch. That's enough to reinforce a very subtle warming trend. Temperatures aren't going to soar into the 80s, but it is going to climb into the mid to upper 70s as we head towards Saturday. That wind is also going to pick up. So as far as what this means for your weekend, by Saturday, we've got a wind out of the south between 10 and 15. That's when our cold front swings in, the strongest one we've seen so far this season from the northwest. This won't bring us rain on Saturday, but it does look to bring rain to Sunday and looks to bring good rain amounts, especially for this time of year. October tends to be a dry month for us. 1 to 2 inches are possible with this system. No rain tonight. Just dense river fog near our waterways. If you don't live near or commute by any of them, it won't impact you tomorrow, but if you do, it will. And I expect that fog to linger through about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Once it burns off, cut and repeat, right? 75 degrees, sunshine, blue skies. It seemed like such a good idea. We'll do it one more day this work week. 78 degrees on Friday. Little bit more cloud cover. As I mentioned, this is a very slowly changing weather pattern. 77 on Saturday, just with thicker cloud cover and some of the wind. When the wind is very high, it can prevent temperatures from warming a touch. Rain looks to hold off until later in the day on Sunday. So if you have Sunday plans, I know it's still wedding season. Hopefully any brides out there have earlier plans to walk down the aisle on Sunday. It does look like rain will chase us into our next work week, though, and a good soaking rain. Anywhere from 1 to 2 inches as we head into next week. Notice the temperatures too. The high next Wednesday, just 61. This does look to open the door to some of the coolest air we have seen so far this season. I mentioned Titan. Titan continues its tour of Nashville. It is in East Nashville tonight at the Farmers Market in Shelby Park. That's where we find Storm 5 meteorologists Henry Rothenberg and Heather Mathis with the most exciting new addition to the Storm 5 weather team. Henry?
Oh, you're going to be fine.
Bree, you said it. This is the most exciting addition, or new addition to the weather team. Just another way that we are able to keep folks safe in any weather. Nice weather like today. Cloudy and stormy weather that we can get in the spring, and snowy weather the few times we do get it during the winter. Now, as the sun is setting, you talked about it, Bree, temperatures are dropping. We are breaking down here at the East Nashville Farmers Market, but the tour will continue throughout the week. You'll want to listen on News Channel 5 later on tonight and tomorrow for where we will be. I want to toss it over to Heather, though, because she's with one of our new friends who apparently made quite the journey to visit us, Heather.
Yes, this is Natalie, and you are 7 years old. Is that
Hi everyone, I'm News Channel 5's Leland Statham at the Kroger in White House to show we've got winners from all over the place. While we are in White House, Tennessee, I've got Daryl with me from Bowling Green. Congratulations on winning $1,000 from News Channel 5 and Kroger.
Thank you very much.
How excited were you to find out that you had been the winner?
Very excited, very excited. I was ready to go to shopping.
So how long or how many times had you entered before you became a winner?
About 6 or 7 times I've entered. I watch News Channel 5 every day, so I just decided why not enter.
So when we called you to tell you you were a winner, what did you think?
ready to go. Ready.
Anything in specific that you're going to buy?
Well, just stock up for the holidays. And my son, he's a student at Tennessee State, so he's living on his own, so I'm sure he likes to eat. So.
Dinner at Dad's house, right? So congratulations from News Channel 5 and Kroger. We want to give you this $1,000 gift card.
Thank you very much.
So now here's how you can win.
This is your chance to win a $1,000 Kroger gift card. Tonight's code word to enter is toothpaste. Go to newschannel5.com and use code word toothpaste to enter to win. You could be the next person to win a $1,000 Kroger gift card.
Ask her about the face again, Heather.
Hey guys, welcome back here. I am joined with a very special guest here at the East Nashville's Farmers Market. Say hello to Natalie. She is a 6-year-old girl who came down here just to see it, and I want you to show the viewers at home exactly what you looked like when you got out of the car and saw Storm 5 Titan. Yep, that's exactly what we looked like at News Channel 5 when we first saw it as well. And you actually drove all the way from where to come see it here? Gallatin, that's a long drive. Why did you want to come see Storm 5 Titan?
Columbia, Missouri.
I don't know.
So,
my pappy's a real big fan. He really likes it. He doesn't like any other team. He likes when they make a home run or something.
Oh, the Tennessee Titans. It is named Titan here, but this is our newest weather tracking tool, and Gallatin's where you're from. Why don't you point there on the map, and what's the temperature there? 68 degrees here. It has been an awesome day out here at the farmers market. So many people and so many kids just like Natalie coming out here just to see Titan and everything we've got here. Temperatures are falling though. We've got some crystal clear blue skies, 65 in Nashville. Point there at Smyrna, 67 degrees. It is cooling down here pretty quick. And Natalie, what was the favorite thing you've seen about Titan so far?
That they have like cool blue shirts on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Natalie, for joining us here and helping me give that weathercast. We're going to send it back to the studio over to Rory.
All right, thanks so much. It's called Country Music's Biggest Night, and tonight we know who will take the stage during this year's CMA Awards. Garth Brooks, Brothers Osborne, Miranda Lambert, and Thomas Rhett, some of the first artists to be announced. More to come. The 51st Annual CMA Awards will be held Wednesday night, November 8th, over at Bridgestone Arena. News Channel 5, of course, will be there. Make sure you tune in for all the red carpet events leading up to the big award show, and catch our CMA Awards show special that night, right after News Channel 5 at 10. The population in the mid-state seems to be growing nearly by the minute.
Now, one city is hoping you'll lace up your shoes to get around instead of grabbing your keys. How Franklin is giving more options to getting downtown and elsewhere through thousands of feet in sidewalks. Music City Star Tracks threaten the latest in a money rift between the RTA and Mount Juliet.
And police continue to search for a man who shot 6 people in 2 states within hours. How it happened and where he could be. A Franklin project that just got underway promises more options for parking and pedestrians.
But it will also spill over into some residents' property. News Channel 5's Sarah McCarthy is in Franklin to explain what a major sidewalk addition would look like.
It's a very busy road.
Traffic along Murfreesboro Road is almost always a problem for residents here.
Pulling out of my driveway can be pretty complicated, and I've got a 17-year-old daughter that has to pull out of it every day going to school, and people not real great about abiding the speed limit through here.
But Brad Magaha says driving isn't nearly as dangerous as walking, which is why he's happy to see change.
Families and kids, you know, very small children on bikes and stuff trying to get access to the park or maybe to downtown or something like that, and, you know, seeing them have access with a sidewalk, I'll be glad to see that.
Franklin is working to add 4,000 feet of sidewalk. It'll connect pedestrians on Murfreesboro Road from Pinkerton Park to Mack Hatcher Parkway and beyond.
Just that sidewalk not only connects to downtown, but it connects out to Mack Hatcher, which has a trail network that goes all the way up into Cool Springs.
City Administrator Eric Stuckey says the city has spent 3 years planning for the project, which will also make a big difference as downtown gears up for a busy time of year.
We have the Main Street Festival. We have coming up Pumpkin Fest will be at the end of the month. Dickens of a Christmas is right in front of Christmas, is a very popular festival. So we bring literally 100,000 plus people to downtown over a weekend to enjoy the festival. And there's so much traffic that folks sometimes have to park out in satellite areas, and this will give them a great way to walk in on the sidewalk.
Something Brad says is worth giving up a small stretch of grass and will likely give back more than it'll take.
I don't think it'll hurt the value of my property to have access right to downtown Franklin, so I'm good with that.
The city hopes to have this project completed by the end of this year, but if the weather doesn't cooperate, they say it will be finished by early 2018. Reporting in Franklin, Sarah McCarthy, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Sarah. Adding those sidewalks will cost the city about $1.5 million.